There comes a point when you're just sick of it. Sick of being kicked in the teeth by life again and again. You've held it all together, carried everyone else, and kept showing up no matter what. How many times can you get knocked down before you finally say, screw it, I'm done? But maybe the answer isn't to keep fighting harder. Maybe it's time to let go of what doesn't matter and get back to something simpler. Let's talk about the final straw. You know, as I talk to men online, offline, in counselling situations, even some of my friends, there are so many men who are facing this feeling on the inside of they're just about had enough. It seems like everywhere they turn, they're kicked in the head, they've got struggles at work, there's issues going on at home. Even just getting out and commuting every day is a war, and guys are getting sick of it because it feels like life keeps on taking more than it gives. If you're feeling like this yourself, do you know what? You're actually in a pretty large growing group of men that are getting to this point where it's like, if one more thing happens, I don't know if I can keep this going. I don't know how long I can put up with this situation. You see, there's a tipping point. The tipping point happens not externally, but internally. You see, as I said, we face these situations where there's trouble at work, trouble at home, trouble on the road, trouble in our money, trouble in our health, and it just seems like there's so much stuff conspiring against you winning. But what happens is those external factors find their way to our internal world, and something dangerous can happen, especially in our self-talk. And we will find ourselves at times starting to contemplate some things that are a little bit conclusive, a little bit final. And we start saying some things to ourselves like, you know what? What's the point? Why bother anymore? I can't take this anymore. I've had enough. It's really important for you to be on your guard around this kind of self-talk, because when you start talking to yourself in this way, you're probably on the verge of giving up in this way and saying, screw it, I've had enough. Let's talk about why good men quit. You know, it's so challenging in life when you approach life in a way where you're wanting to do the right thing. You're trying to be a good man. You're trying to be a good husband, a good father, a good employee, a good community member. It's a great thing to do. It's a good motive. It's the right intent to have to be a good man. But the truth is, it comes with an extra burden, because sometimes just being a good man is not enough to cut it. Just being a good man actually at times can delay you even further. And that becomes quite a shock to a lot of men, that they think, if I go out into the world and I do what's right and I treat others fair, then surely the same thing will come back to me in return. It's really quite shocking and unsettling when you go through experiences where not only does the same thing not come back to you, but you get served the opposite in return. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this content, I'd love you to subscribe to my newsletter. I call it Original Masculinity Letters to Men. I'm writing to inspire you and encourage you on your masculine journey, on the way to recovering your masculine heart. If you'd love to be part of that, there's a link in the description below. Click on that, and that's how you can join and get these newsletter episodes that come out regularly. There's a big cost to all of us when we feel like we're carrying everything. When we feel like we've got to try and hold it all together, you can actually end up holding nothing. And like I said a moment ago, when we have this approach to life, which is the right approach, to try to be a good man, try to be a noble man, but life seems to throw back at us unfairness and mistreatment, it can be really, really challenging to add that challenge to the pile of all the other challenges. But there's hope. Things can change for you, and I want to talk about what that means. There is this idea of returning to simplicity, and really returning to what I would call simple pleasures. You know, at the start of this video, I said that maybe the answer is not about fighting harder when you get to this point, but perhaps for a period of time, fighting less and only fighting for what matters. Because in this season, there's only a very short list of things that absolutely matter. Your family, your closest friends, your own health and well-being. A lot of the other stuff can actually be let go of. And I want to give you two simple, practical things of what really matters now. Number one, this is not a season for major conclusions. You don't want to be finding yourself making huge, big decisions in this season. It's the wrong time for it. The chances of getting those decisions wrong are very, very high. So number one, no major conclusions, no major decisions. But number two, returning to some simple pleasures. Maybe rewinding in your mind, going back in your memories and asking yourself, what were the things about life that I used to really enjoy? Simple things. Enjoying watching sport, enjoying playing or listening to music, enjoying going to the beach and going for a surf if that's your thing. Maybe you used to be into a particular kind of exercise and training. You might have loved bike riding. Maybe you used to have a motorbike. Something that brought you simple pleasure. If you could learn again to combine no major conclusions with simple joys, you could probably get through this season that you're in. You need to take a moment to realize that you've actually been doing so much. You've been trying so hard, you've been giving so much, you've been staying engaged with the fight, but in all of that, you've probably taken your eye off your own needs. You've probably taken your eye off your own enjoyment in life and taken your eye off your own health. And it's so important when you get to that moment where you feel like fading away, where you feel like disappearing and living that fantasy small life, disappearing into your cave and giving yourself permission to say, who cares? What's the point? Screw it all, I'm leaving. When you get to that point, it really matters that you actually make the right decisions and not make big wrong decisions. Let's talk about what it means to have a quiet comeback. You know, so much of our life is about noise and activity and pushing and trying and achieving, and there's a measure of rightness about all of that stuff. But when you get to a place in your life where you just feel like the real you is fading away and disappearing, and you're saying some of those scary self-talk phrases like, what's the point? I might just chuck it all in and screw everybody and screw everything. If you've gotten to that point, you probably don't need more noise and more activity. You probably need a return to your true self. And really, what that's about is rediscovering and re-engaging with the fact that there are things that you've let go of. There are parts of who you truly are that you've sacrificed for being part of the machine of life. And I want to urge you, I want to encourage you and give you permission today, if you need it, that what's necessary for you right now, give yourself permission to get back to some of those things that you enjoy, those simple things, those things that are the truth about who you are. But you know what? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if you've reached this point in your life, or maybe you're there right now. Do you feel like fading away? Do you feel like chucking it all in and disappearing? Why don't you tell me in the comments below something that's been helpful for you? Was it that thing about big decisions and conclusions? Was it something to do with actually putting some more attention on your own needs for once in a long time? What helped you? Tell me in the comments below, and I'd love to hear from you on that front.